Oh, Yemi, we finally get to
I
meet.
know, right?
I can't believe we've not crossed paths before. This makes no sense.
It's really great meeting you.
You too.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I always felt that something was missing in terms of I didn't feel like I was doing better for more than myself. I wanted to be part of something that did better for the environment, for communities. And when I happened into sustainable fashion, because it was an accident, I found that that's what I needed that was missing, being part of something that looked at global communities, that looked at the earth, that looked at the impact beyond making something that was beautiful.
How do we ensure that we create that balance, that mindful balance between the people, the processes, and the environment to get people to understand that, you know, it's not always about the bottom line. It's not always about, you know, how much money can we make? You know, sometimes, you know, we have to ask ourselves or tell ourselves, when is enough enough? You know, and I don't really think it's about not making money. It's about making sure that every hand profits.
And what you've built with Lagos Fashion Week, but also then your agency, which kind of, like you said, is like an incubator for brands and to help them scale themselves up.
The last 3 or 4 years, 4.5 years, it's sort of changed to how can we rebuild our own ecosystem to be able to support our own designers, to be able to ensure there's infrastructure that can, you know, help them grow, scale up, and, you know, provide everything that they hopefully need. That's who we are. Tell me about you. I mean, it's so glamorous. Sounds, you know, when you hear red carpet, green dress, I'm like, girl.
The core for us is just redefining how sustainability is seen and educating people to be aware that it's a culturally dynamic conversation. Sustainability in the United Kingdom is not the same as sustainability in Ghana. And actually, FYI, the Ghanaian sustainability could potentially teach the Western sustainability a great deal. There's an exchange happening. But right now, it does feel like it's a certain part of the world saying this is how to be sustainable.
So it's quite interesting as well that in Nigeria and so many parts of Africa, the way the designers work, it's naturally adapted or suited. It's what you call slow fashion anyway, you know, with the craftsmanship and the communities and all. But we realized that it was important for us to be deliberate about teaching and impacting the next generations.
When we're talking about the presence of Black people, people of colour, is staggeringly low compared to their white counterparts. So our presence in this industry is we're underrepresented in this industry. If you take a fashion brand that's offering an internship, but it's an unpaid internship, that means that anybody who doesn't have the disposable income or is not from a socioeconomic group where they can afford to do an internship that's unpaid means that they will automatically be declined that opportunity or won't be able to apply for that opportunity because they can't support themselves. They just can't. So then you start unpacking how wealth is distributed within the industry or how wealth is distributed within society, and you'll start seeing very strange and striking similarities.
How effective is, you know, every company now, every major, every other company is, you know, creating or employing a diversity chief, an inclusivity this, all of that, you know, I call it the scramble and petition for getting a person of color on board. Grab one quick and, you know, let the person be the face of, you know, so how effective is that? Do you really think it's going to change anything? Do they have the power, or is just, you know, another act of tokenism?
Yes, there was an element where people are reacting and saying, well, we need to appoint somebody. And I almost feel like that's just the wrong way to go about this. You don't actually need to do this token knee-jerk reaction. Actually do the deep work of auditing your company, researching your company, interviewing your employees. Do something that's a bit more thought through versus reactionary.
Yeah. Do you think, is it possible that some people are really completely oblivious to what's that they're in positions of privilege? Like, do you really think that they're not aware that, wow, okay, I'm here today because of XYZ?
I think that being oblivious is a privilege.
Girl.
I think that being able to be oblivious to something is a privilege. Be able to say, oh, I didn't realise that there were no other... Oh my goodness, I didn't realise I was the only... That's a privilege because in our
in this whole store we only have 3 Black brands.
My goodness, what a shocker. Did you know that? To be able to have that reaction is a privilege because for many of us, we are acutely aware that we are the only one. We are acutely aware because we are the only one, and we carry such responsibility to do not only our job well, but to represent others who are not in that room with us. So it's a privilege to be oblivious in 2020. It really is.
Where we're coming from, fashion really can save lives. Fashion can change lives. You know, coming from a country where, you know, the poverty line is people live below less than $1 a day, you know, coming from a country where the unemployment rate is probably in double digits, you know, getting people to understand that, you know, when you see the product, that's not just where the work starts. You have to pause for a minute to figure out, you know, how the process was.
We're wasting at such an astronomical scale. And I think that whole idea of what we value as often only being the finished product and everything that goes into that almost suddenly becomes valueless once the product's finished. And it's this whole idea that, well, waste is only waste if you waste it.
So value doesn't end with the wearer, with the first, you know, first person who comes in contact with it. You know, it's that product that can, for as long as it's in existence, really, either in its pure state or in the state in which it becomes repurposed or recycled, it would always bring value to the wearer. We recently had a project called Woven Threads as part of Lagos Fashion Week. And actually the same designer, This Is Us, came up with a video. What does it mean to design like an African? It means to be able to design and create for a very long time.
Right.
And that's what value means. Creating something
That
out of
lasts.
nothing, but can last for as long as possible.